Hello and welcome to Micro Live, back with a new weekly series. This week we'll be taking a look at the ups and downs of the computer industry since we were last on the air.
I'll be talking to Lynn McTaggart, the editor of Which Computer magazine, about the problems caused by some computer maintenance contracts.
And I'll be explaining
how to make your computer talk to you.
Now, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, the computer graphic must be worth a megabyte. Well, Wednesday to Friday next week sees Computer Graphics 85 at Wembley Conference Centre here in London. There's 3 days of nearly every type of computer graphics to see, from business and information graphics to animation and even the latest in holography. But the event of the week is the Computer Animation Film Festival, to be judged on Thursday night, when 50 films from all over the world vie for the title of Best Computer Animation of 1985. We've had a sneak preview of the mass of good entries. This one, Tom's Gears from Cranston Zuri Productions Inc. in Columbus, Ohio, seems to do the impossible. Here are some other entries we particularly liked. Entry to the Computer Animation Film Festival costs £25 a ticket, but we'll have more of those graphics for you next week and the details of the winners. The exhibition itself, Computer Graphics 85, is open to anyone aged over 18. It could cost you £5, but by special arrangement it's free to anyone who says Micro Live at the ticket booth. Now, Mac.
Well, over the last year, the computer industry has gone through one of the most traumatic periods it's ever likely to experience, from boom to doom. Household names like Sinclair and Acorn got in the most awful state. And only today, Acorn announced a record loss of £22 million. Even the industry giant IBM caught a cold. Like most things in this industry, it all started in America, as Freff reports.
Summer came early to New York this year. At least it did to computer retailers. They expected a drop-off in sales. That's traditional. The home market booms at Christmas time, and schools and businesses buy most of their computers in the fall. But a drop-off is one thing. A slump is something else, especially when it comes 3 months early. In March of 1985, IBM announced that it was no longer going to be manufacturing the PC Junior. For IBM to so offhandedly drop a product shook consumer confidence in the entire market.
IBM said the home market was dead. So the home market was dead temporarily. The people who have been thinking about computers went into shock. And its sales have been slow for all of the machines especially. Software a little bit better, but not as good as it has been.
A lot of stores hit hard times, too hard for some. I bought my PC at this store, came in a few weeks ago to buy supplies, and found it like this, dead and gone, along with my store warranty. But here at 47th Street Photo, an electronics cash and carry in Midtown Manhattan, very little in the way of dealer backup is offered, and so prices can be slashed. Have they found business slow?
I don't like to say slow. It's changed. It's different than it used to be. It's a more serious buyer. The buyer's buying more merchandise when he walks in here. He's buying a more complete system. It's not that spontaneous, off-the-shelf, one-of-a-kind type thing anymore. It's a thought-out, well-thought-out purchase.
So what's ahead for America? Well, drastically falling prices, but even so, price and hardware are not what sell computers. Software sells computers. We've outgrown games here in America, and the real future belongs to the companies that can create new software products that meet people's practical needs.
Well, with the American computer industry catching a cold, it wasn't long before pneumonia was rampant here. For some home computer companies, it proved fatal. Hardware companies, software companies, they were all being zapped like space invaders that had made them all rich. One man who is uniquely placed to know just how serious the shakeout is Bill Gates, the chairman of Microsoft. That's the company which wrote the software that's become the standard operating system on business micros. A multimillionaire at 29 with a software empire on both sides of the Atlantic, embracing business and home machines. What does he make of the last 9 months?
The home computer market is in very bad shape. The current product doesn't provide enough benefit to really keep on growing and selling to more homes. And so a lot of companies expected growth, and they're not finding any. In fact, in some cases, it's shrinking. The office market is quite different. It's still growing very healthily. It won't double this year, but it'll grow by, at least 30 to 40%.
More electronic and computer companies have been floated on the stock exchange over the last 3 years than any other sector. They sailed through calm waters and cruised into massive profits. High-tech shares put on millions of pounds. A buoyant stock exchange gave no clue of the storms to come, nor of the financial lifeboats which would have to be launched. Some say the people here in the city were partially to blame for the wrecks. Suddenly, the darling of venture capitalists was jilted.
If you look at a share like Apricot, something like 70% of the market capitalisation has been wiped off so far this year. If you had £100 invested on the 1st of January, that's down to £30 now. And I think the reason is not far to seek. It's been a very difficult period in terms of sales and in terms of profitability. To give you an idea of that, in the second half of last year, that's June to December, Acorn had really quite reasonable sales. In the first half of this year, just 40% of that was what they achieved. So that's the problem, and it's come through in terms of profitability as well.
Apricot's chairman, Roger Foster.
I think, of course, the area that we at Apricot are in is very much the business area, and that's been pretty steady. There's been a degree of slowing down in the past few months, but only of the order of a slowing of growth. And I think that in the business section which we operate in, we shall continue to see 30% growth rates for the next sort of 5 years. It's in the home computer market that really, I do think in that market it is the end of the day, and that there has been a major downturn, and we will not see a reversal of that downturn. So I think it's important to try and spell out the differences between the two markets.
We were certainly enthusiastic when things were going up. We tend to lose our cool quite rapidly. But in the end, it's down to profits numbers. And when the companies are saying that profits aren't going well, and they're even reporting losses, that's when we get really worried. And that's been the position recently.
Do you think we're going to see some more casualties in the months to come?
I think we will, yes.
Names?
Particularly amongst the smaller companies, but I'd be a rash man to name them at the moment.